Party time. Party time. Party time. Party time. Drink your drinks and eat your eats. It's party time. Laugh your laughs and heat your heats. It's party time. Smile your smiles and blue your blues. It's party time. There. Dance your dance and shoe your shoes. It's party time. Howl your howls and suck your socks. It's party time. Yeah. Oh baby, grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Everybody, grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. One more. Grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Here we go. Party time. Yeah. Party time.
Candace Owens was in Yacht before. I've heard about these kind of things happening, but I've never experienced it for myself.
And one teacher is doing just that with a video of him dissecting these lies.
Party time. Party time. Party time. Hey. Party time. Yeah. Party time.
There you go. That was Party Time from the album Hello from the one and only The Matoid. I don't know what that black border is about. Potentially a metaphor. Let me put some light on. Bosh. Look at that. Amazing. Do you want more? More light? Or just a different tone? They're all the same tones, aren't they? Anyway, I'll tell you what, I've got an absolutely cracking stream for you. I will apologise. I've just found out that Jack and Mousecat are streaming. I didn't know that. The truth is I would have still streamed, and I'll tell you why, because there's so many people streaming. If you were to not stream in fear of, you know, what is commonly known as stream cucking, I have to stream when I can. That's literally it. I don't intend to do it like today. I'm not moaning. This is a cracking stream. We're going to react to a video. I've only watched about 3 minutes of the video, but it was 3 minutes enough to tell me that the scrubs are going to get their heads wrapped right around this. The chat is going to be ballistic. The chat during the last stream, I don't watch my streams back. One, because I already saw them because I was there, but two, because I'm busy. But I watched it back because I'm sorry, I'm trying to find this damn video. The quality of the chat. Did anyone else notice? Me and Packer had a little chat about it afterwards. But nice one, JP. Appreciate Kaku. Hello, Sufist. How are you, mate? It's Sufist. I tell you all the time. The chat was just on fire. The last stream, the chat was on fire. And I like to think I'm always on fire. I'm burnt. What was that song? Sister, sister, can't you see I'm burning? But was it sister or mother? It's probably mother. It's a bit more Freudian than sister. Wait, has anyone noticed? Not that I look a lot. I mean, I have knocked porn on the head. I have relapsed a couple of times lately because my missus likes to put a film. We'll be laying in bed doing nothing, and she'll just put a naughty on, and then she'll just go, "Oh, look what I found on the computer," and then as I'm looking at it, she starts eating her dinner, and things progress. The phone is cast aside, and that was unnecessary, wasn't it? If you're new here, it's always like that. It's a vulgar place, unpleasant. But I hope that was it. Fair play, Danny boy. Duck to duck, which would make even more sense than mother. I think that said more about me, didn't it? Sister, mother, duck. And wasn't the comedy was, I think a week or two before Michael Jackson burnt his hair off, didn't he? When did that happen? Because if that happened in my new accidentally commercially viable novel, honestly, this novel is going to save my life. I am so skint, it is untrue. If I can sell this, and I stress it for a reason, if I can sell this accidentally commercially viable novel, everything's sorted. I know life doesn't work like that, but I'm having it. I'm having it that it is. Because if I was to get something like $250,000, and don't forget, I can offer them 2 anthologies, another novel, and the avant-garde novel that they won't want now. But if I can shift a load of commercial novels, they'll buy it just because people will buy it for the name and regret it for the content. But I'll be able to give my missus a load of money and go on, build the house of your dreams. I'll be able to get her up the duff and go on, send them to a decent international school, and we'll have a nice home tutor for Thursdays and Fridays. I don't want my kids at school 5 days a week. I don't want it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays with the family. So many things it would sort out. It would allow me to stop my day job. Now, I love my day job. It's given me a quality of life I certainly don't deserve. But these days, it's a real struggle. No problems with that. Life is a struggle. Don't worry. We will get onto the video. But I want to write. I want to write professionally. Now, I know I sound like an infant. I want this. I want that. But I do. And I only get one life. And as Chrissy Boy Thrall always says, one's enough if you do it right. He doesn't use those words. These are a little bit more jumbled up and not as punchy as mine. But if you do it right, you do it right. If you do it right, one's enough. But the dream, the fantasy of waking up, my missus, she's such a good cook. My missus saw how much I liked eating mango and sticky rice with coconut sauce. If you've had it, you'll understand. It sounds like mango, sticky rice and coconut sauce, doesn't it? It's not. It is the example par excellence of something being more than the sum of its parts, but so much more. Yeah, I like mango. Sticky rice is all right. I mean, rice is, if you like rice, sticky rice is much the same, but a bit stickier. Coconut sauce, sure. Put them things together. Let me know in the chat if you've had it and mark it out of 100, with 1 being no, and with 100 being this is fantastic. Let me know if you've had, but I don't mean like from Sainsbury's. I mean like out in Thailand, Cambodia, Southeast Asia, where it's from. Let me know. Because anyway, so while we were out in Thailand, I ate a couple every day. The day we got back, she gets on the internet. And don't forget, she can't write her own language. She can't write English. So she has to search everything by voice. Later that day, she's bought, I'll show you. Later that day, she bought this. I think I might have showed you the other day. That's a sticky rice steamer. That's the actual bamboo steamer. And that's where you put the water in. It's got to be done, hasn't it? I love you long time. Okay. But that's great. This reminds me a little bit of a ghatam. There's an Indian drum called a ghatam. It doesn't have a skin on it. It uses this sort of air, but the hole's too big on this. But anyway, she gets the mung beans, didn't even know it had them in them. She gets this pandan leaf, didn't even know it existed. She gets coconut cream, not milk of coconut, not cream of coconut, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, makes the best mango and sticky rice I've ever had. And I've had it every day since. And she's gone to Province today for a few days. So I'm making my own. So after this stream, I'll be throwing away about half a kilo of sticky rice. Hey, just clocked that, by the way, son. I'll be throwing half a kilo of sticky rice and mango and some coconut mud into the bin and going to bed hungry. Anyway, let's cheer things up no end by doing this. Hello, son. Well, you were hard to get hold of tonight. You were all sorts of damn problems. You weren't. Same as usual, really. Sent your missus the link, and here you are. Have you had a few bevies already?
No, we've had a rough week.
Innit?
Hey?
It's Thursday, isn't it? It's Thursday. Sorry, innit? Sorry, because the missus has gone away. She usually goes on a Friday, so that's why I assumed that. So, Packer, tell us how you are while I find this video, because I watched the first few minutes of it, and you're going to love this. Here, I've got it. Right, hang on. Before we go, I just want to see what people, if anyone, look at the love for Packer. Look, as soon as he shows up, people know the show's actually started. A Kanye West new track, man. I mean, the thing is, it's almost like a manufactured moral outrage, isn't it? Like everyone, I mean, if you don't know people, I think it's called N-word, Zig, or it's called Zig, N-word, or something like that. It's those three words. It's got Heil, it's got Zig, and it's got the N-word in it. That's the name of the track. And if you were to sit down with a lyricist, which is probably what Kanye West does, because he's not really the most articulate person, and said, can you put together a song that can offend as many people as possible in as short a time as possible? That's pretty much what you've got. It's quite something. I'll play you a bit. I won't, because it's been banned from everywhere. It's literally been banned. I mean, if you need to see the Streisand Effect, that's going to be one of the most best-selling. They'll find a way. There'll be a download or something. You can get it somewhere. If not best-selling, certainly most listened to song, if not ever, in the West. If not ever. Simply because it's called N-word, Zeke. Hello, honey. Are the kids home yet? Now, don't worry, I found the video we're going to reply to. I just wanted to see if anyone in the chat agreed with me about the mango and sticky rice. Let's have a look. JP would buy it. Arklow said that. Hello, Floella. Nice to see thee. I've got an announcement. I might wait for a few more people to turn up. Hello, Craig. A.L. Mac. You know why I fucked that up? Because I thought it was AJ, and I was going to say hello, AJ, and I went A.L. Mac. Hello, Al. Hope you're all right, son. JP, you said it's Sean. Hope you're all right. Who else we haven't said? Did I actually say hello to you, Arklow? I hope you're well. Arklow says some funny things on Twitter, by the way, people. I don't follow a lot of people on Twitter, so don't feel bad if I'm not following. I follow about 16 people, and some of them are legacy people that I followed in my first day that I just feel a bit bad if I dump now, but I might still do it. I use Twitter. The particular purpose I use Twitter for is corrupted the more people I follow. And that's just the reality of it. So what am I meant to do? It's like buying a hammer, and to keep people a little bit happy for 2 minutes a week, slowly grind the hammer off it or make the handle uncomfortable. You know, the tool does its job as it is. It's all right. No one's complained, so I don't know why I'm even fucking talking about it. Spanish chicken's on the firm. Oh, Spanish chicken reminds me. I want to thank you all, people. Obviously, the Scrubs are great donators, but the donations on Buy Me a Coffee, remarkable. Like coming through randomly, and like some of the things you've said on there, just beautiful. You know, I'm a writer. I'm a raconteur. That I talked about my dream earlier. I want to wake up and write for 5 hours and then spend the rest of the day with my family or on my own or a bit of both. That's my dream. And when you get someone go, is 20 quid, that's no small amount of money. That's 20 quid. You know, I'd suggest it's less than the national, far less than far more than the national average hourly rate. And just say something like, you're a spectacular writer. I don't give a shit whether it's the Pope or Godzilla saying that to me. I don't care who says that to me. One person saying that, it's what I live for. Not for the praise, but because they're telling me that my writing has made them think and possibly feel. And that's important to me. So thank you very much. And while we're on that, and while we're talking about that, I've got the Entropy link and the Buy Me a Coffee link. They're at the top of the YouTube chat. They're pinned. So you've got the Buy Me a Coffee is also the one where I get less tax. I get most of what you donate using Buy Me a Coffee and or Entropy. So they're both linked there. Super Chat's at the bottom of the YouTube chat. Buy Me a Coffee is also in the description. I don't have to fuck around with that QR code. It don't work. It don't work, Packer. It doesn't work. But you don't need it because you can just click the link in the pinned comment or it's in the description. But thank you all very much. It's you know, when I'm doing my monthly budget, I'm thinking, fucking hell, I've still got it, because we're obviously saving to build the house. The land's prepared, but you can't just start building it out of twigs like the neighbours have. I'm not even joking. Most of the houses on our, dare I call it, an estate. Oh, that's a terrible thought that in 30 years it may well be. You know, their houses built out of bamboo and twigs and that. And I said to my missus about building houses out of wood, and she said, yeah, many Barang do this. Barang, Thai people call Europeans Falang. Cambodian Khmer people call Europeans. It's weird, isn't it? They distinguish Europeans from just foreigner. Call them Barangs or Barang. But she said, my girlfriend said, many Barang do this. She said, but insect eat house. And I went, really? I said, yeah, but they treat it. And a lot of this is on, you know, we don't talk about infested wooden beam termite infestations, wooden beams, and treating the wood and creosote without Google Translate. But she said to me, a lot of the time, the people who come and spray the wood are just spraying water, or they'll put just some random chemical in it to give it a smell, and they'll come along and they'll spray it all. Usually not Khmer people, because Khmer people are strangely not into being arseholes. It's weird what an ethno-state will do to a place, isn't it? Nearly 8 years I've been in now. No trouble. Why? I wonder why. I wonder whether trust is a thing that happens in homogenous groups. I don't know. I'm putting that out there. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. Yeah, but she actually went on to explain that a whole house, because you have them on poles to keep away from all sorts of things, but also so that the downstairs room is essentially, what would you call it? What do you call it when you eat outside? Oh, come on, Latas or Pags. I'm thinking Al Greco. What is it? Come on, Scrubs. One of us has got to be posh and oats. Al fresco. There you go. So when you build your house on stilts, you essentially don't have to build a room, but you've got a room that's been created between the floor and the ground and the floor of your actual room. That's one of the reasons. And the snakes and tarantulas and children. My house is only going to be about 3 feet up, but that's enough. It's better than nothing I can do. You don't want that. You don't want getting them out. That's a great joke. Right. So why was I telling you this? There was a reason. Oh, yeah. She said that she's seen termites drop houses in a matter of days. Like, geezer goes on holiday and you just see the house start tilting. Next day starts tilting. Next day, neighbours start moving their things. Termites will eat those posts quicker than you can say, get out of your bedroom. It's about to fall. It's quite a thing. If you think about it, I think a gerbil, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but my brother used to have a gerbil. And when my old man, a bit like me, I don't like pets. I think the pet industry is awful. Maybe I think if you got working dogs or working horses, that's different. But they're so fucking bored most of the time, animals. It's awful. I walk my dog 2 hours a day. What about the other 22, though? You try sitting on your room on your own, doing nothing, with nothing to eat. See how long you last. You'll do about 10 minutes before you're doing something. Take away the ability for abstract thinking as well. Anyway, so my dad got this massive tank for our gerbil instead of this little box. Filled it up with like dirt and perlite and vermiculite and all that sort of stuff. We woke up the next morning. It had dug a network of tunnels that was probably about 10 meters. Like, the side of the box was only about 2.5 meters wide and then like 3 the other way. But you could see where they came. And we looked into it. And apparently a gerbil, someone look it up. A gerbil, oh, fair play. I'll get that up. What do I call it? A future over there. Also, if you use the Buy Me a Coffee, you get a miserable, sorry, I'm knackered, individually made reply video, which is actually very special. He's chipped in for the book cover. Nice one. No, that's exactly what that's for. AAA has made a comment on Buy Me a Coffee because I said I'm raising money for a book cover. My mate who wrote Catstronaut, yeah, it's about a cat who goes into space, Catstronaut, used to live in a little bedsit in Fulham. Now it's got a detached house down in Surrey, based on selling books on Amazon. He said to me, there's great writers out there selling 2-3 books a year because they wanted to do their cover. They wanted their special book and they wanted to have their special cover. And there's shit writers who are spending $5,000 getting a professional cover company to do the research, see what's selling, see what font is being used, see what colors are doing well, properly put the work into it. And a crap novel can shift a couple of 100,000 just because you've spent the money on the cover. Now, I'm not saying I write crap novels, but without a doubt, if you're going to put something on Amazon KDP, you've got to think about the cover and you've got to get professionals in. I mean, I started fucking around on Midjourney today. It's an indulgent thing. I mean, the older novel, it's pretty much done now, people. It really is. I just need to work. I need to raise enough money to self-publish it. But I'm now thinking, do I self-publish it or do I wait for this accidentally commercially viable one to get published and then sell the other one on the back of that? Anyway, I've been talking so much. AAA, I'm just going to call you A from now on because it's too much, or AAA or something. He's going to design it for 1,000. Oh, okay. Get me some ideas and we'll have a look. But thank you for that donation. I will. Yeah, look, for instance, someone wrote this. Good day, Cobber. I've spent many years enjoying listening to your banter. What a thing to say. Many years enjoying listening to your banter, and you actually changed my world. But then he goes on to say, I changed it with the clear pipe so that the passenger can do your crack pipe while you're driving. Anyway, thank you, AAA. You will get your video recorded later. Anyway, now I've got this video. Like I say, hello, Carl. Nice to see you. Hello, IR. Nice to see thee. Anyone I haven't said hello to. Hello, Alexander. What an absolute pleasure. There you go. That doesn't surprise me in the least. I can't read that out, people, but you can have a look at it. We've got a Jedi on the firm. Are you new in these parts? If you are, let us know, and everyone will say hello to you, because we've got a lovely, lovely community here. Right. Hello, Denise Moniz. Nice to see you. Right. Okay. Let's get into this video. So, like I said, before we go, one more final grift. You know it won't be. I tell you what, though, that thumbnail was great work, wasn't it? Let's just enjoy it once again, just for the hell of it. I mean, what a, compositionally wonderful, beautiful color balance. Not a problem. I'll tell you what, I'd be smiling like that as well for about a year.
That's a really nice couple of pairs of green eyes, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? I mean, you really want to get your hands around that font, didn't you? Really, really, really good. So there's that. But what I did want to show you, people, don't forget, listen, we all know that I'm going to become a legend in the literary fiction scene. I mean, it's on the cards. We all know it. But do you want to be part of that? Do you want to be a part of the legendary Dangerfield literary fiction? Stop laughing, Packer. Because we've got the Scrubs wall, of course. So in my house, in the province, I'm going to get hold of a Dremel. It's more likely going to be an old steak knife, in fairness, and a hammer. And I will be etching your names into the brickwork or whatever it is, bamboo, and you will be there. You much like they've done this at the Arsenal. That's what inspired me. Up at the Arsenal, I've got Dangerfield flaneur. So for 20 meager quid or dollars or euros, you let me know and tell me what you want. If it's just your name, I can't do any long sentences or anything, just simply because for obvious reasons. I mean, Ravenscroft, that should have cost 60 quid, really. But if you want to join that collection of eminent scrubs and get your name on Chateau Dangerfield in Stangdoit, Kampong Cham province, just let me know in the chat. Mate, pay your money however you want and let me know what you want written, and you can be part of that. I think it's one of the best grifts going. I think that wins YouTube's grift of eternity, grift of infinity. In fact, Packer, marks out of 10 for the wall of Scrubs.
You can't beat it, can you? I mean, it's a brick. You get a brick. What more could you want?
There's one answer out of 10, isn't there?
10. What?
Thank you. That's all you had to say.
This is behind me on the sofa going, not even 9.
Hang on, did you say your missus on the sofa said not even 9? Good call. Hello, Anglo. Anglo's on the phone. I know. Toffee said, I'll give you a one for a brick. I can't do that sort of. I'm tempted. Don't get me wrong. I'm tempted. I could probably get a local to do it because they ain't. Nice to see you, Toffee. Anyway, hello, Ellie. Hello, Cheeky Chops. Master grift. There you go. I mean, if you're going to grift, you know, there you go. All in all, you're just another brick in the Scrubs wall. Listen, people, for about the last year, maybe, you might have remembered. Oh Lord, what was her name? Sheila. Sheila's Dr. Dot. Does that ring any bells? Sheila's Dot something.
Sheila's
I
Dot
think
Dot,
she's
yeah.
on the scrub. I think she's on the Scrubs wall actually. Anyway, she is now formerly Dotty. So previously Sheila's Dot to something is now Dotty, and she sent me a couple of lovely emails as well, bless her. Echoes on the firm. He says, years ago, trendy streetwear fashion brand Supreme sold a branded novelty brick for something like 60 quid. This is a steal. Oh, there's been some amazing marketing. I'll tell you the people you want to have a look at. Oh, hang on. Who was it? Funny enough, I was reading about it just last night. I can't remember. It'll come back to me. But they done some of the most incredible marketing. Like they actually sold shit, like bullshit. You could buy bullshit, and they sold out. And it wasn't like a sex thing. They done. If anyone in the chat knows, they done. Hang on. Let me just find this. Who sold bull? It must have been a band or a fashion thing. Bullshit to their fans. Surely every band ever is going to come up.
All these bricks come with a lifetime guarantee.
There you go. It was Cards Against Humanity. And I'll tell you what, Cards Against Humanity, one of the most incredible, Cards Against Humanity done something like 500 mil. And if you think I haven't already got Grok making me a card game, think again. If you haven't seen Cards Against Humanity, I mean, the cost to make it's next to nothing. But they sold bullshit. They also dug holes. They dug holes. Every fiver you paid, they dug a hole or something. Yeah, they've done a great few things. They dug a hole. Hang on, I've got some of it here. Fuck it, we're going a little bit off. I do like Cards Against Humanity, though. They've done a lot of very, very cool things. Right, so the video we're going to watch, let me know. I didn't see if I'm going to ask again. Has anyone had sticky rice and mango with coconut sauce and knows that it's incredible? Craig says that air guitars are on sale. A lot of things are, Sean, but it doesn't necessarily make them bad. I know plenty of 4x2s. They're fine people. I don't buy that one. Are there some that are really nasty? Yeah. Did Tony Blair do possibly the worst thing ever to the United Kingdom? Yeah. Yes, he did. Is he a 4x2? No. I don't think it's a question of that.
Doc Shelley's had it.
Doc Shelley, there you go. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Delicious, yeah. You think it's just going to be nothing, but it's actually surprisingly wunderbar. Right, here we go, people. Here we go. Let's watch the video. Oh, it ain't that. That's the Matoid with Party Time. I forgot to tell people on Twitter I was going live. We'll leave that up so I can see. I'll see if I get any more donations live on that one, so you won't miss out on your glory. I'll turn manual alerts off on Entropy, so I'll hear the Varts if they come in. And no one's donated anything, so it's a great start. Right, people, do you know the channel Black Belt Barrister? 772,000. You know him, Packer?
I stopped watching it.
We have a little bit. We've got some controversy, have we?
Yeah, I started watching him ages ago, but then when it got to the Southport incidents, should we say?
Okay.
His very first video on that lot took a dim view.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. I mean,
and switched him off.
I try not to do that. I really like Warren Smith, and he's made videos where I totally disagree with him. There you go, Sean. There you go. That's it, really.
Yeah,
But,
and normally I do watch people I disagree with for the very reason that I disagree with them. Usually, it's when I normally agree with them, and then they say something, and it was really poor judgment on his part what he was saying, and I knew it was going to be.
It hit you emotionally, did it? And having kids and that, I can imagine that's quite hard.
It wasn't about that. It wasn't about that incident. It was about the following incidents.
The so-called organised right wing. I've actually watched that video, and I actually thought, I don't know about this, mate.
So you know the one I'm on about.
Watch. Yeah. Party time. Anyway, so before Packer absolutely ruins this, I do not know the top dope trump cards. I do not, but I will have a look because I'm seriously considering. Well, I am. I'm going to design a card. Well, not necessarily a card game, a game that doesn't cost much to make and hopefully pays for me to have a house and write professionally, or not even professionally, just be able to. He's got 3 channels, lucky bastard. James says you've bothered him a few times, Dange. You've bothered me a few times, Dange. Yeah, I upset people all the time, but I think it's because look, you can't lose if you're not trying to win. I'm interested in the truth, and if in a conversation or debate I get proved wrong, my information is wrong, my evidence is wrong, my critical thinking or logic is wrong, I've got nearer the truth. That's a wonderful thing. So we're all good. But let's have a look at this because it's very interesting. And it's not actually what he says. Like I say, I've only watched about 5 minutes of it. No, about 3 minutes of it. It's only 9 minutes long. But I think it will be something that we can all talk about and it will be very interesting. The video is called The Media Don't Tell You This. And it's about the situation in English prisons. And I know a little bit about English prisons, not as much as I'm glad I don't know about, but some of this stuff is going to shock you. And I'm sure we've got no fans of two-tier care here and no fans of pretty much any Western European governments. But some of these numbers are going to blow your mind. So let's have a look at it. I'll try not to talk too much, people. I know sometimes people are going, you interrupt too much. But if you don't, it's not a reaction video. And you can just watch his video. There's less chance of him flagging me if I can defend it. And that, like, he might not. Warren has never flagged me. But this fella might just, if I just sit here and watch it, he might just go, no, that's just my channel on your channel. So let's dig in. First of all, we'll do a little sound check. Let me know you can hear him.
We have a major problem in the UK at the moment.
Did you hear that, people? And was there an echo? Audio good, says Alex. Well, we get to that, JP, I'm sure. No echo, audio good, lovely. Did I say hello to you, Spanish chicken? I think I did, but just in case, there you go. That's good. It means I don't have to wear my headphones. All right, hello, JD times 10. Nice to see thee. Right, so check this out, people. Hello, Denise Manise. Oh, mate, I've got the hi-fi going, have I? I like it. Easy AI. It is true that bald people do come across more artificially intelligent, don't they? Our Mac doesn't like him. He's not happy. Right, check this out. Sean, referring to AI, it can't do ears very well. I mean, in fairness, that's an unfortunate lug-hole, and fair play for him for putting himself on YouTube, even with one of those both sides of his head. Hello, Carl. Fair play, James, for bringing that one back from near death. It's always good to see it there. Well, you ain't far off, Anglo. I mean, there's a statistic that's been floating around for years that says something like if US incarceration continues at its present rate for the next 50 years, half the population will be in some form in the prison system. That could mean probation, it could mean house arrest, it could mean a tag. And the other half of the population will be in some way employed to look after them. Now, I don't know the validity of it, but it is quite a measure of a society that you don't immediately write that off, do you? You're not like, that's nonsense. You can sort of, it's a sort of dystopia you can imagine isn't far away. Here we go. Check it out. Let's see what he's got to say.
We have a major problem in the UK at the moment with the prison system. In fact, we have 3 problems. The first problem is that they are pretty much 99% full, meaning there are fewer than 1,000 places available.
Right. Let's just take that in, people. How many crimes do you think are committed? Let's have a look. How many crimes are committed in London in one weekend? Now, they're not going to know because we're only talking about the ones that they've been caught for. So, it's a weird bit of data, but I've got something up here. So London has a relatively high crime rate compared to other areas in the UK. The overall crime rate is reported, listen to this for the fucking UK, 104 crimes per 1,000 people. 104 crimes. What's that? That's one in 100. It's over 1 in 100. Over 1 in 100 people commits a crime, and it's going to be more than that because of all the drug taking. It's not. Sheila, you missed it, love. I introduced you as Dotty. You can change your name on YouTube, Dotty, but I obviously you might not want to because it might cause other problems. But I told everyone earlier that you are now Dotty. Lovely to see you, Dotty, and thanks for your lovely emails. So, the multicultural society that's working like an absolute dream has caused us to have 104 crimes. They're only the ones that have been reported, people. What about all the people that didn't ring the old bill? Do you know what I mean? That's got to be about another 100, isn't it? There's probably, I wouldn't put it past people committing more than one crime each. It's probably something like 2,000 crimes per 1,000 people. I'll tell you what, if you were to take these numbers from Dartford, it would be about 5,000 crimes per 200 people. Right, anyway. So, let's take it back, and I won't interrupt until we get to the next point.
We have a major problem in the UK at the moment with the prison system. In fact, we have 3 problems. The first problem is that...
By the way, the fella's a legal professional, people. He's a legal professional. He's a barrister. He's not just this, he knows his stuff, and he's made plenty of money. Now, money doesn't mean everything, but it does show a certain amount of intelligence.
That they are pretty much 99% full, meaning there are fewer than 1,000 places available. Bearing in mind there are 73,000 Crown Court cases awaiting trial.
Hang on. There's 70. I'm looking at Packer, and he looks exactly how the old country should be looking.
That's crushing.
This is
1,000 places.
Yeah, and what did he say? 73,000 trials awaiting trial. There's 73,000, and most crimes these days tend to be violent and sexual. Well, drug related, but most of those get written off now because the old bill don't want the paperwork. That's in my experience anyway, but it's quite a lot of experience. But so there's 73,000 people awaiting trial, but there's only 1,000 places left. Okay, I can't see where this is going.
And that's not even including the magistrates' cases, which could indeed send somebody to prison. But just Crown Court cases alone, there are 73,000. Now, just bear that in mind for a moment. 73,000 people have been charged with something. They are being prosecuted so serious that it's going to the...
I wasn't even aware that they'd been charged. Sorry, I thought this was police bail. No, they've been charged. This sentencing. They're waiting for sentencing. That's probably why all my mates, their sentencing's always put off. They're waiting for people to have somewhere to put them. There's not enough room.
The Crown Court, meaning it's so serious that the Magistrates Court have either declined jurisdiction or it's an indictable only offence, etc. But 73,000 that could go to prison for fewer than 1,000 spaces. Work that out. That's the first problem. The second problem is that the...
Right, and I do want to pause that because I don't want us to overlook that. Go on, Packer.
Aren't a lot of these people that are awaiting these very serious trials already in prison on remand or whatever it is? Because
some can be, some can be, but and I think I've watched about another minute of this video. But what I know, because of the lack of prison places, and I know that this is an industry. Building private prisons is an industry. That's what a lot of this is about. But what they do now, they used to. I mean, Belmarsh used to be a remand prison, but what they do now is just put a tag on them. And they have, they're on a curfew. You ain't allowed out after 7 o'clock. There's your curfew. I mean, I know people who run 50,000 grand a week businesses. I say businesses. You can understand. You can guess what they're selling. They're on like a 6 o'clock curfew. They've got a tag on. Their business isn't suffering in the slightest. Why would it? They sit at home playing computer games anyway. That's their business. They just make a few phone calls now and again. So step one, there's 1,000 places left in UK prisons. There's 73,000 charged cases waiting to be sentenced. Step two, I'll take it back a bit. Hello, Emma. Did you see what I called you today, Emma? I put a bit of special effort in for you, my lovely little darling.
1,000 spaces. Work that out. That's the first problem. The second problem is that the plan to deal with this is ostensibly to release people early. So given that some people have been sent to prison, obviously for an offence that warranted custodial sentence, meaning it's past the custody threshold, meaning that a fine or community order or a combination would not be sufficient and only a custodial sentence would do, and judges have decided that, so they've gone to prison. The plan now to free up spaces is to let some people out early.
Right. Let's just break that down. Not that it needs breaking down, but I just want us to just talk about that in the plainest language possible. There's a few things a judge can do when you've broken the law. They can evaluate what's actually happened, see what damage. Was it damage to property? Was it damage to reputation? Was it damage to a person? Was it damage to, did I say reputation? Yeah. Was it damage to someone's potential to earn money in the future? Was it physical violence? Was it traumatic, etc., etc.? And so the judge can either say, look, you're on a suspended, and the suspended, I've had more suspended sentences than I've had suspenders. Nice. A suspended sentence is when they know they haven't got enough prison places for another fucking junkie, so they say, listen, dickhead, fuck off, and we'll forget all about it. But if you do anything else within the term of the suspension, and it's usually 2 years, well, it was in my day, 1 or 2 years suspended sentence, it means you ain't going to prison. Nothing. No, it means nothing. But if in that period you do something else, like, and it could be anything illegal, and you get caught, they then take into account the initial crime, and that's considered with the second crime. But if you think I don't know people who've been suspended 2 or 3 or 4 times, it's still like, yeah, we still can't really afford to send you to prison for possession with no intent. So, fuck off again. I've packed my bags. I've cut a syringe down. It's called a shorty. It's where you get a 1 mil needle, a fixed needle insulin syringe, and you cut it down so it's only about that big. It's essentially the spike and about 0.5 mil of area. and you can wrap it up and put it in the bank. And so I've had one of them up there, an Henry of the bad stuff, you know, and I've packed my bags. I'm ready to go to prison. But when those 20 rocks turned out to be one rock, because the coppers decided to do the off with 19 of them, my brief looked round at me and went, give me the thumbs up. Yeah, you are here for possession. I honestly thought he was going to say 20 grams of crack cocaine. And he said, you're here for possession of 0.5 grams of crack cocaine. And I thought, why couldn't you have told me that this morning? I wouldn't be sitting here with a fucking shorty stuck up my ass. But that's the kind of mad thing. So what this fella's saying here, they can give you a suspended sentence. They can fine you. You've been a shit to society. You're going to have to pay the government $5,000. Or there's another one, you can do a bit of community service. You can go and paint the local church. You can go and take all the shit out the local river. You know, if you've got any skills, like I had a mate who ended up teaching spastics how to play football, the funniest community service you ever seen. But fair play to him, they had a great time. You know, they'd had nothing to do. They just used to sit around in their wheelchairs, but he had them playing football. It was quite remarkable. And but what the judge has done, he said, no, you ain't a suspended sentence. You ain't a fine. You ain't community service. You're a danger to society. We're going to lock you up. We're going to keep you away from society on the very slim chance that you might realise that it ain't a very nice place, even though English prisons are like better than hotels in most of the countries that most of the people who are in the prisons come from. That's not even a joke. That's I'll tell you what, if you want to see what a real prison's like, go on YouTube, have a look at Venezuela. My mate Jimmy went to one. Have a look at the prisons in Cambodia. Have a look at the Thai prisons. You don't survive them. You go in a room, there's 40 odd people in a room. You sleep like sardines next to each other. And when you're the new boy, you sleep next to that hole in the ground, which other people call the toilet. And because you're usually withdrawing, you're sitting up all night, crying your eyes out while 40 blokes are shitting next to your face. I mean, that's prison. There's a prison in Bolivia. Well, there's plenty of prisons in South America where the guards don't even go into the prison. They walk around the perimeter. They've got their towers and they've got their guns and that. But the prisons are run by the prisoners because over the years, nature has done its thing. It's safer. It works better. Imagine that. It works better. There's a famous prison in Bolivia. Someone in the chat might remember the name of it. But for about 15 years, it was a cocaine factory. The people that run it, criminal gangs, they were producing cocaine. They were getting the coca leaves brought in. They were turning it into, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. It's the precursor to cocaine. Then they were purifying it. And then they had their wives coming in. Oh, you can have your wives and your prostitutes come in and your family and have parties and all that sort of stuff. Most of the blokes in there had like 2 women in their cell, one doing the cooking and one doing the sucking. And it was a cocaine factory. Now you look at that compared to an English prison. And look at whole thing is in El Salvador. That's what a prison should be like. If you do something evil to someone, well then you get something evil done to you, mate. It's an eye for an eye. That's our morality. So the judge has decided that's where you are. You are going to get locked up. But what the new Labour government are doing is deciding, well, we ain't got enough places left. So what we need to be doing is letting these criminals out of prison. Put a tag on them, put a curfew on them, because that's really going to inspire them not to commit crime, isn't it? Letting them out. I bet they're having an absolute party. Most of you would have seen that clip that was going around of that black fella got let out of prison, and he said to the camera, "Thank you, Joe Biden. Yeah, thank you. Fuck Trump. Well done, Biden." It's like, what?
Custodial sentence would do.
So we'll take it back a bit.
Obviously, for an offence that warranted custodial sentence, meaning it's past the custody threshold, meaning that a fine or community order or a combination would not be sufficient and only a custodial sentence would do. And judges have decided that, so they've gone to prison. The plan now to free up spaces is to let some people out early. Now, with great respect,
Mark absolutely nails it there, where they have forgotten the most important part of prison. Yeah, punishment. I mean, that's just by the by now, because of human rights. You can't punish people. Come on, this geezer just wrapped someone up and raped their wife. You can't punish them. No, get him a therapist. They'll be all right.
to everybody involved in the system, that makes a mockery of the system. And I, as a member of the public, I think you'd be right to mock the system. I don't think that is a silly thing to say at all. And the third problem, which is a little bit taboo, so much so that most of the media outlets do not talk about it. So,
and this is the clanger that's going to wake you up.
For that, I would urge you, please do subscribe to my channel, like the video and share it and so on, because without me doing this channel, you may not hear about these details. But the third problem is this. Roughly 11...
And before he gets into this, I'm going to put the link to this video in the chat. And I would ask you, and I don't usually do this, and, you know, not too shy of 1 million subscribers, it would be worth sharing this, because this next bit of information is absolutely mind-blowing. So I've just put the link in the chat. Just copy and paste it and open up a window, and you can send it out later, because it will blow your mind. Exactly that, Arklow. Socio-economic conditions. There were riots in English prisons once because they took away the televisions. What? Anyway, check it.
You may not hear about these details, but the third problem is this. Roughly 11%, which is just over 10,000 offenders in prison right now, are foreign national offenders. With the caveat that the government has no accurate statistics, believe it or not, they have no accurate statistics of the precise status of these.
Hang on, can you just say that again? Because my brain is failing to accept it.
These details. But the third problem is this. Roughly 11%, which is just over 10,000 offenders in prison right now, are foreign national offenders.
So 1 in 10 of our prisoners are foreign nationals. Why are we paying to feed and house and give them televisions and protect them? Why? No, you should be sent home. You've broken the law. You're on the next dinghy back. You see that one that's coming over here now? You're getting back. No, what?
With the caveat that the government has no accurate statistics, believe it or not, they have no accurate statistics of the precise status of these foreign national offenders in our prison system. In other words, they don't know exactly whether they have a right to be in the UK or not.
That you heard correctly, people. Our government doesn't know the legal status of the 11,000 foreign nationals in English prisons. It has not got that information anywhere. That isn't incompetence. That's intentional. That is without doubt intentional. Because if someone wonders, go on, Packer.
It's a lie.
Yeah,
a lie.
There you go. It's deception. It's deception. Because if they outright said, well, 6,000 of them ain't even meant to be here, the population would say, well, by tomorrow, 6,000 of them don't have to be here. Yeah, exactly.
Many of them probably don't. All of them perhaps don't. But Why is it that the media is not talking about this as an issue?
And listen, I've been to Venezuela. I've been to some places that will make your toes curl. And that's just the housing estates, not the prisons. If you think English prisons are any kind of deterrent to these people, let me tell you something about organised crime. A lot of organised crime takes into account the bird. Like, right, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. There's about a 30% chance 3 of us are going to get caught because there's just no way of avoiding A, B, or C. So you're likely to get, with no firearms, so no mandatory 5s, but, there might be a couple of 3s or 4s, and that's just part of it. If you do get that, well, we'll look after your cut of the takings, and you'll be, what's the word? Go on, Packer, what's the word? You'll be reimbursed for the extra effort you put into this crime. Now, if you're a Venezuelan criminal, for instance, and they say you might end up doing 5 years in an English prison, but don't worry, they let you out for good behavior. And the Venezuelan says, yeah, but I'm not even legal. And they're like, yeah, but they don't care about that. That Venezuelan is thinking, hang on, I'm going to make $250,000 and all I've got to do is sit watching telly for 5 years. Yeah, where do I sign?
2.5 years.
Because,
Chris,
to put it quite frankly,
I think over 4 years you do the full stretch, don't you? With some crimes, I think it's if it has under four you only do half. They're looking at changing that. That's just a joke as well, isn't it? You have been sentenced to 4 years in prison. That means you're doing 2 years, and then you do 2 years suspended. Well, that's not 4 years in prison. I read an article last night about someone who got 4 years. And it kept going on about the 4 years this, 4 years that. And I'm like, no, they're doing 2 years. They got 2 years for that kid who can no longer walk because they chopped his toes off. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oi, just a sideshow. Years ago, let me find a picture of her. This will blow your mind. It's a little bit of light relief. Hang on. I've shown you this before. What? Everything on this channel. Let me just show you this because it was a proper bullet dodged, right? This is really going to tickle you. That's if the video's still up. Hang on. I haven't looked at this for a while because it used to. Well, you'll see why. Hang on. It is worth the wait, people. Trust me. Although the video might have been taken down due to recent further proceedings. Hang on, is that her? I think that might be her. Hang on. Give me some time. This will be worth the wait if I can find it. If I can't find it, it's just going to be humiliating for me. Oh, come on. It's got to be here somewhere. I watched it enough times back in the day. Oh, that might be it. No. Maybe if I put glamour. Yeah, I'm trying to keep you interested by putting glamour in it. Oh, I can't believe that ain't on there. Oh, if anyone can find, because if I keep looking, it's going to drain the energy from the stream. If anyone can find, it's a football. It's not a foot. This has got fuck all to do with football. It's just something about football just shot past. Yeah, but it means I give her a name, and I don't really want to do that. Hang on, just give me a couple more seconds because this will blow your mind. Dang. I reckon she's taking it down because of all what's happened. Maybe if I put her name in quotes. This is mad funny because I only found out last night and I was like, whoa. And one of my ex-girlfriends absolutely hated this bird. Well, for obvious reasons, because she found out I was banging her and all that. You know, that's understandable. And so I sent her the news story last night. Why? It must have gone. All right, I can't find it, so I'm just going to have to tell you what happened. Let me see if I can find a still picture of her. Here we go. There she is. She's not looking her best there, though. Fucking hell. Easy on the filters, love. You look like your head's falling off. She don't look hot enough in that one. Let me, if I go to videos, it might show me the.
Probably Emma, yes.
You'll have to explain that one to me, mate. I ain't got a clue.
Emma says, will it just be tits?
No, unfortunately not, young Emma. It's oh, what a terrible shame. It must have been taken down because of this little hoo-ha. Anyway, years ago, I found this bird, this glamour model, right? And I just started chatting her up on Twitter, using all the usual tricks, bit of NLP in there, bit of psychology. It ain't hard. And, you know, because she's like a 10 out of 10, she was a fucking lawyer. I found it. I've only found it. So you'll get to see. Right, here we go. Right, I do apologise that I'm dropping this in the middle of something that's far more important. But it might be a nice little break. So let me tell the story. I find this bird on Twitter, and I'm sort of like, oh, this is all good. And I use my chops on her, and it all goes well. And we have a few, intriguing moments, and it's going pretty well. But then, I mean, she was stunning. Like she worked at a top law firm in East London, and was a glamour model. But I started noticing that she had some kind of, well, you've hit the nail on the head a bit, James, because she was quite a curvy, as you'll see, beautiful woman. But she started going a bit bulimic, and she was putting pictures up on Instagram where she looked like an alien. And no, only body dysmorphia can do that, because everyone who saw him was like, why does she look like a twiglet? And it was like, yeah, I don't know what's happened, man. Anyway, last night, I find out, because I was looking for I sometimes like to revisit the old conquests. She's doing 5.5 years for fucking harassment. Her and her mother, they absolutely put their neighbours through hell, and they're going to prison for 5.5 years. Right, bear that in mind, because now I'm going to show you her. You would not for a minute think this bird. You know, I would have gone out with her, but I did notice things going mad, and I sort of, add a bit of distance. But yeah, I'll check it. I don't know what all this nonsense is. So that's advertising Neil Stewart. Let's just cut to the chase, shall we?
Yes, this is a big change, because normally...
That's her in the background. I mean, you know, not too bad.
Some of you might recognize me as the Whip Pan Neil from Dominic's videos, but now Dom is doing the video for me, and here we are in where are we? Tiger Lily.
Yeah, we don't need to listen to all this shit. We just want to see the photos where she gets her kit off. But you wait till you see how beautiful this woman is.
So, Linda, why are you taking so many photos of your?
Life's genetic lottery, eh? Fucking hell.
Me and you should do the stream in that position, Chris.
Recording. No recording. Oh, no recording. Go.
Why this geezer thinks anyone's watching this for him is absurd.
Pause one again. There it is. That's one. That's one. That is. Come on. Work it.
Shut up, mate. Wow. Good Lord. And there you go. And I find out last night she's doing 5.5 for fucking harassment. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it.
I can.
You know what? You're right, because hang on, there's a nice little montage at the end of all the best bits. Yeah, actually, Packer, while I talked to a mate who knew her as well last night. He knew her through me. Let's have it right. And he said, yeah, but they are nuts, aren't they? He said birds like that tend to be nuts. It's not that surprising.
You've seen the Crazy Hot Scale, haven't you?
Of course I have. One of the best videos on YouTube. My God, though, look. There you go.
Maybe I'm old.
5.5.
I look at her and I think, yeah, she's really, really pretty, but I just see her screaming her head off, tearing up the house.
Yep, you're really, really old. Right, here we go, people. Let's get back to the drastic facts that the United Kingdom is on its way out. Here we go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. They can get away with it. It's a fair point. And you're right as well, Eleanor. The amount of glamour photographers I know who do all they do is try and hit it off with the models, and the models hate it. The models hate it. The models that they like, the photographers they like, are the gays, who actually tend to be better at it, weirdly, because that's why most of those photographers get into the glamour photography game, because they can tell hot birds what to do, until it gets to the bit where they say come out and have sex with me, and they're like, nah, can you just pay me so I can get the fuck away from you? Anyway, we'll take the main video back a couple of seconds. Apologies about that. It's just weird that I only just remembered that I found out last night that she's actually going away for 5.5 years. I might write to her, actually, and really rub it in. Anyway, roll VT. Oh, can you see it? You can't, can you? Yeah, you can.
that the media is not talking about this as an issue. Because, to put it quite frankly, if they do have no right to be in the UK, then they really shouldn't be in our prison systems, taking up 11% of the 88,000 odd spaces that we have in our prison system. Now, the second plan that they have is to build new prisons, investing billions of pounds for new spaces. But there's another problem with that as well, because not only are there over 10,000 in our prisons at the moment who are foreign national offenders, about whom we don't really know precisely whether they have a right to be in the UK or not, but doubtless thousands of those that are currently awaiting trial may also be foreign national offenders who may also have no right to be in the UK. Plus, just last year, Labour was accused of ignoring safety of UK residents because 17,000 foreign national offenders were released from prison and still walking the streets of Britain without being deported. Now, the reason that's of major concern is roughly 13,500 or so of the current prison population are recalls. For example, let's take somebody who was given a 4-year sentence.
There you go, Packer. This is what you were talking about. Yeah.
Population are recalls. For example, let's take somebody who was given a 4-year sentence. Let's say they served half of it and released on license. So for the remaining period of that sentence, they are released into the community on license, regardless of whether they had any right to be in the UK or not. And if they commit a further offence, then they are recalled to prison. So 13,500 in prison at the moment are there because they've committed a further offence, having already been released.
So they were already on a suspended. They didn't give a shit because it's probably better conditions than where they're living, and they just went back in.
From prison. So that's roughly 15%. So if we assume a 15% further offence rate of those that are in prison and released from prison and so on, you can probably guess that roughly 15% of the 10,000 that are currently in prison who are foreign national offenders may go on to re-offend and may then be recalled to prison. So let's talk for a moment, which is the third problem, which is the problem that people won't talk about. So why do I have an issue?
And this is the big one.
With it? Why is it taboo and why are we talking about it? Well, quite frankly, a lot of people might take the view that if someone has no right to be in the UK, that they shouldn't be in our prison system. That is not a right-wing thing to say. And frankly, to label any such view as right-wing, I think is lazy, inaccurate, insulting, and a little bit of a weak argument against somebody who just wants to protect the UK and its citizens from those that are not supposed to be here. Now, again, my video here is not to drum up any kind of hate. This is an adult discussion about things that we should be able to talk about. But why then, which should hopefully give you a reason to subscribe to my channel, why then do we not see anything about this in the media when they are talking about this very problem? This is The Guardian, and this one is the BBC, this is Sky, and this is also Sky. But if we go back to The Guardian for a moment, just searching for the words of foreign national offenders or anything that includes anybody that is a foreign national offender do not appear on this page. And yet they are talking about the jail time for recalled offenders being limited to free up spaces. So this talks about the plans of limiting the period of time someone gets recalled to prison for to 28 days. So they could, in theory, let's say, go back to the 4-year sentence bit for a moment. They could, in theory, if they've served 2 years, they could, in theory, be recalled to prison for the remainder of that 4 years. So another 2.
Arklow and JP both said or made comments suggesting that why is right wing bad, and I haven't got a problem with it being called right wing. No, me neither. But you know, you have to think of an ideology as like marketing, as like branding. And if you can get an idea away, me and you don't have an issue with the idea of right wing. I mean, what has far right ever been defined? What is far right? What is right wing? It doesn't make any sense. The irony, of course, there is a far left. I mean, it stops at Marxism. But the reason we shouldn't associate these ideas with right wing is because then you give the media an hammer to smash the idea over the head with. This isn't about logic, critical thinking, and looking after the people that have put into the system. This is just right-wing thuggery. Like Tukia Tia said the other week. He said, let's call it what it is. It's right-wing thuggery.
Years. The plans are potentially to limit that to 28 days. as opposed to the rest of the 2 years, which may well be an insult to the victims of those.
Did you hear that? The suspended sentence is going to move from 2 years to 28 days. Does that sound to you like it's got anything to do with punishment? Does it sound like it's got anything to do with about deterrent? I mean, prisons don't deter criminals anyway. There's two types of crime. There's crime that happens on the spur of the moment that's unplanned, and prisons have no effect whatsoever. When I see a geezer put a fire hydrant through another bloke's head, he wasn't thinking about prison. He was thinking of crushing that bloke's head. The other kind of crime is planned. And when you plan it, you take into account the likelihood of getting away with it and or how much bird you're going to do. So it's not a deterrent anyway. But it is a fucking insult to the people who were the victims of the whatever crime it was, whether it was a violent crime, whether it was a property crime, whatever, when that suspended sentence has gone from 2 years to a couple of weeks.
Crimes, both the old and the new crimes, if said person has reoffended once they've been released from prison and recalled to prison, only for 28 days. That's plan number one. Plan number two is to release people early, which equally some people might find offensive, particularly victims, families of victims, and anybody else generally might find that quite offensive. If indeed, as you can read here from Sky, the plan to free up some prison space is to limit the amount of time people serve in prison to 40% of their sentences rather than 50%, which is the typical amount. So
there you go. Rather than giving someone a 4-year sentence, which actually means 2 years, they're saying, well, why don't we make it 40% of 4 years instead of 50%? I mean, why don't you just make it no percent? If we can't get all these people in prison, why don't we just not send them to prison? Fuck it. Fuck the law. Who needs it? It's not working. You know, just give them a slap on the wrist and tell them not to do it again.
So typically, if you're not aware of this, if you get a prison sentence of 4 years, the sentence is the overall duration for which you are subject to the order of the court. You will typically then serve 50% of that in custody and 50% on license. On license means you must also still comply with any order of the court or any requirement of the probation service, which sometimes might mean you have to live at a particular address. You can make mistakes, you can breach it, you can make excuses, and because you know that they're doing it to keep you out of prison because they haven't got the space, you can absolutely take the absolute piss out of it. I know people who've done it for years. May be subject to other restrictions such as not visiting certain areas, not contacting certain people, perhaps doing rehabilitation courses or offender courses,
or getting your mate to ring them. I mean, that's not hard, is it? You're not allowed to make contact with this person. Oh, all right. John, can you give Peter a call?
All sorts of other things that they might throw in there. They may be subject to any one of a number of things for the period for which they are on license, i.e. the bit that they don't serve in custody. But if they reoffend, then they can be pulled back to prison. But part of this new plan now is not only will they perhaps only serve 40% of the sentence rather than 50% of the sentence, but if recalled to prison for reoffending, that might be limited to 28 days.
And that's just going to keep going down until it goes down to nothing. And then it just will be, you've got 2 years. And then it'll be, well, it's actually half of that. And, you know, what was once a 4-year sentence will suddenly become 6 months because you got sentenced to a year. And then it'll be, well, actually, we're going to just put a tag on you for 6 months. But actually, that's 3 months. What a joke. What an absolute mess. Look at how El Salvador was one of the most dangerous places in the world. It's now the safest place in the Western world. Literally the safest place. Why? Because they gave the government and the military the authority and the weapons to go out, round them all up and lock them all up. And it's now the safest place in the world.
But going back to the third problem. The third problem is this.
Hello, Rollo.
All of these stories go into great detail about the plans on the 28 days, the plans for the 40%, the plans to build new prisons, spending, I think it's close to £5 billion over the next few years, to inflate the prison population, but by I think I read somewhere.
Spending 5 billion on prisons. I mean, the whole thing has already proven that it doesn't work. We're running out of space. We've got 73,000 people waiting to be sentenced. We've got 1,000 places. You're already looking at sending people home because you haven't got spaces. You've also said that you're importing people because we need to keep the GDP up, or whatever crappy bullshit excuse it is this week. And so what you're doing is going to build more prisons. Yet again, the government proves its single actual point to put public money into private pockets.
Where by about 30,000 places. But nowhere in any of these articles that I've read from The Guardian, from the BBC, from Sky News, are they talking about the prison population that pertains to foreign national offenders. So why is this taboo to talk about? Because a lot of people probably do talk about that, or maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree and no one's really concerned about it. But it seems to me that it is something people are concerned about. People do talk about on messaging platforms such as X. You can follow me on X. I am D. Shensmith. I am on X in those places as well. But speaking about X and the conversation there, we do have discussions there about foreign offenders being 71% more likely to commit sex crimes, for example, than British.
Okay, so foreign offenders are 71% more likely to commit crimes of a sexual nature. I mean, why isn't this stuff talked about? Well, we know why it isn't, because it kind of puts a spanner in the diversity is a strength kind of cogs, doesn't it?
British nationals, and Robert Jenrick as Shadow Justice Secretary, looking at the very valid point that we should be considering removing the 10,000 foreign national offenders instead of releasing dangerous prisoners early, or indeed capping the amount of time for which they spend in prison once they are recalled to prison for further offences. So I ask you, why is it taboo? Why is it not in the media? Why are most of the media not talking about this point? Is it just because they want to avoid the discussion that there are foreign national offenders in our prison systems that are making up around 11% or so? But I'm quite sure that many of you probably agree with me. Let me know in the comments down below. Please do like the video and subscribe. This is probably one of the few ways that you will get these views out to you. So please do like the video and share it and subscribe to the channel. That helps the channel grow. And as always, thank you for watching.
Well,
we have a major problem in the UK.
Very much. People, it's 10 to 3 in the morning. I got one donation in that whole stream. That is literally the worst it has ever been. But that's all right. That's all right. I understand the situation out there. But people, what is going on? I'm not an accelerationist. I don't want things to get worse before they get better. I think that's ridiculous. However, things weren't getting better when they weren't getting worse. And I've got very little faith or trust in Reform UK at the moment. It looked good for a couple of weeks, but Farage isn't our man. He's essentially a neocon. I mean, why isn't Rupert Lowe the head of Reform? I don't know. What a terrible shame. But England's in such real trouble, and it might happen. We might, the whole Homeland UK Reform UK and Homeland Party, they are like nibbling at the sides of this tedious 2R1 two-party system we've had for God knows how long now. It might be the start. And let's hope it is, because England's probably got about 15, 20 years before you go past that point of no return. And if you go past that point of no return, well, the clue's in the idiom, no return. So, and I also don't want it to be violent. I mean, I know a lot of people get angry and go, let's warm up the helicopters. That kind of war will go on for decades. And it will start involving other countries, and it'll be an absolute mess. What we need is some actual, legitimate, common sense, much like our man Bukele out in El Salvador. and actually just say the nation state is key, globalism is a failure, multiculturalism is a failure. Let's tidy up this mess and make some radical changes to actually do something about this. Arklow drops in there and said, a nice one, Arklow. Sorry for the tardy donation, Chris. Good to see you, everyone. Got to go. You never have to apologise about a donation, mate. Good Lord. That's amazing. That's doubled my daily donation. Nice one, Arklow. It's incredible, though, isn't it, people? What you know, and when you hear about something like that's just the prisons. What do you think is going to happen to pensions? I mean, they're already saying that they ain't going to be able to give pensioners money to eat their houses. People are going to die. In England, one of the richest nations in the world, are going to die because they can't keep warm enough. That's going to happen and has already happened. Well, that was the next bit I was coming to. Is that are we going to be able to, you know, when you have welfare and open borders, you lose your welfare. And it will come a time when all that money you've been putting into the system for all those years, well, I don't seem to be getting any of that back. Yeah, we had to give it to some other people because you know, human rights and that. And they came from, it wasn't really a war as such, but they did have a fight in the street, and that's pretty bad. You know, I would suggest you could probably create some kind of matrix, which is like welfare going to sort of foreign policy, going to pensions, crossing down to the prisons, over here to this, over here to this. And it's all just an absolute shambolic mess. It's nothing. It's not your El Salvador where radical decisions were made to save a nation. No, radical decisions are being made to save an ideology. And the problem with that is you'll keep the ideology alive and you'll have a human dystopia. You'll have people just crawling around looking through bins for food. You know, Cambodia is doing better financially than the UK at the moment. Cambodia. It really does beg a belief. And like I say, this isn't because this is planned. This is their commie utopia. Well, it does work. We'll show you. And what a surprise, it's going the way of all the other commie utopias. And when it comes down, when it collapses, it doesn't take long. You know, look, historically, and don't forget, this has been tried on 2/3 of the earth. Every time it's the same. It's not like, hang on, we better do something about it. No, it's far too late. It's far too late for that. Now it's just hell on earth. And then you've got to have some kind of counter-revolution. And then all the commies come out, and then other countries start feeding weapons in there. Look what's I've got to be careful, but look what's happened in Russia and Ukraine. All the other countries around the world feeding them weapons and money. Nah, keep it going, keep it going. There's plenty of money to be made here. We'll have your minerals, you know, we'll have your oil. That's part of the deal. But for the time being, here's a few missiles that might come in handy. And you know, we've been pretty lucky because apart from the Falklands, as English, as British people, shall we say, we've had it pretty good. But it hasn't been as long as you think. It's only been about 70 years, which on the sort of ruler of history is next to nothing. It would not be that surprising in 5 or 10 years if the UK was a war zone. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to say that's what has happened before. Look at what happened in Cambodia with Pol Pot. When the Khmer Rouge rolled into Phnom Penh in their tanks and with all their guns, everyone was clapping and cheering because the Khmer Rouge said, we're going to free you from the imperialist forces. we're going to free you from the Vietnamese. We're going to free you from the Americans. And everyone was like, yay, literally there's footage of it. Yay. 5 minutes later, 5 minutes, they said, you've got one bag, pack one bag, because we don't want cities like Gandhi. Gandhi didn't want cities. Gandhi wanted people to go back to fucking looms and like banana skin slippers. You got one bag. We're all going to march out into the provinces and we're going to get back to an agricultural society where we don't produce surplus, eat the evil surplus of capitalism. We're going to produce enough just so that we can eat. How weird that they couldn't produce enough to even eat. Not forgetting the hundreds of thousands who died on the walk to the fucking farmlands. And that was in a matter of weeks all that happened. It went on for a further 5 or 6 years, sure. And you know, you whatever movies you watch, they're not gonna give you the real picture of the hell on earth, of all that torture and murder and all the other hideous stuff when humans are pushed and at their worst. They really are at their worst. They're at their least efficient mentally, emotionally, in every way possible. Thank fuck it seems like the right is rising globally, because, you know, it was only a few years ago, it looked to me like the commies were going to take over. Emma Glass, worth it for my description. I'll chuck you a 20 next month. Don't tell them what chuck you a 20 means, Emma. They'll get jealous. I want my name on a brick, or just will do. Whatever you want, Miss Glass. Whatever you want. Thank you, Emma. Very kind. Yeah, I'd love to have your name etched on a brick on my drum. That'd be lovely. Where are we going? This I saved this one. Oh no, I didn't. No, I didn't. Hang on. Whoopa, no, whoopa, slow yourself down. Thank you to the 4 people who donated. Much appreciated. Not even joking. It's a weird irony, really, isn't it? If 50 people donated, I'd be thanking you. But when it's 4, it's actually a more thankful, because I understand the situation, and 4 is 4 more than 0. I hope you enjoyed that. I know it was a bit of a brutal reality check, but we've got 1,000 prison spaces left. And they're coming up with these cranky ideas to work out what they're going to do about it. Build more prisons or let people out. You know what they're going to do? Both of those. With your money.
Do you know what else they're going to do? They're going to double that 4.6 billion or whatever it was. They'll double that before a single prison's ever built. That'll be twice as much. And
yep,
more than 50% of the money that gets spent on building whatever prisons we end up with will never go anywhere near a prison.
Yeah, for sure. It'll just be in private pockets. Like they'll be on their yachts in the middle of the Pacific somewhere having a laugh.
Yeah, it'll go in planning and red tape.
And the other thing, of course, they'll be doing will be importing even more criminals all the time, because it's a strength, as every bit of data shows. Right, listen, the missus is away for a few days. I'm going to start writing now at 3 o'clock in the morning. Lovely. Or actually, I'm going to make me my sticky rice and mango. So once I've fucked that up and thrown it in the bin and started crying, then I'm going to write. Here's a lovely little tune for you all. But listen, people, stay positive. Don't forget what the Anglo-Saxons have done. Don't forget what we've done as a people. And when we need to, we fucking find it. Don't you worry about that. All these people I read in, like, I see like other live streams and in the chats, people are saying, we already own your country, lol. And I'm like, yeah, we'll see about that when it actually comes to it, because there's a great article. Go and look for it. It's called something like Why Arabs Always Lose Wars. It's an incredible. Let me see if I can find it, actually. It's well worth a look.
Don't tell them.
I think they know. Here, I found it. Yeah, this is from the Middle East Quarterly. It's called Why Arabs Lose Wars. I mean, I'm no military specialist. I'll put the link in the chat. It's definitely worth a watch. Just in case, not watch, a read, just in case that's a... Oh, here we go. This is the one that you should also read. This is the fella who wrote that article. Who it's in a little bit more detail. Definitely worth a watch. So I've just put 2 links. Go and check them out. They're actually very interesting. It's like, I don't know if you ever saw when the BBC went to the front line in Afghanistan, and they had like literal front line fighters. I'm talking hand grenades and like M16s. And they were training the what were they called? What are they called? Is it the ANG, the Afghanistan National Guard, something like that? Check my coffee. Check my coffee. I'll always check my coffee. Hang on. Jed, John Palmer, and AAA. Nice one, gentlemen. You'll be getting your personalised videos as soon as I've finished this. Well, I will make some food first, and I might have a bit of energy to say something half interesting in your videos, but much appreciated. That's that. I've actually had 7 donations. Yeah, the grift is back on. We're eating. But they were training the Afghani National Guard, like to help them fight the Taliban. And the interviewer was like, so what are the, the BBC bloke, so ignorant, he's got his bulletproof sort of jacket on and his UN hat, those UN hats are like, just shoot me. And he said, so what are the, and you can hear rounds going off, like, kush, 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 kush. You can hear bombs. That's how close they are. They're part of this fighting. And he says, what are some of the major problems when dealing with the Afghani National Guard? Or so, I have got that wrong, but it's something like that. And this English colonel goes, he says, well, look at them. And so the camera pans round, and they're all sitting around. He went, they're smoking weed and opium. He said, you can't get them to stop it. They just say, no, it's traditional. He said, if we're going to battle, we smoke weed and we smoke opium. Now, having never smoked weed or opium, I don't know what effect that would have on them. I'm guessing it's not great for war. Anyway, on that slightly lighter note, here's a tune that you will much appreciate. I will be putting your comments on the screen. And like I say, the missus is away. So as long as I get a load of writing done tonight, I will do a stream tomorrow night. Jack and Mousecat, if you do see this, sorry about the bad timing. I didn't know. And sometimes it's going to be like that. Packer, I'll let you go. People, give Packer some love. He's made this stream exactly the same as it was before he joined. Nice one, Packer. Ta-da, mate.
Cheers all. Thanks, Scrubs. Cheers, Chris.
Give him some love, people. It does actually mean something. Trust me, I've been doing this long enough to know. Here we go. Here's some music. Look after yourselves. Let me know you can hear it.
All the world loves a lover, all the girls in every land are meant to know. The joy of loving is to live in the world of man love. There's someone who's waiting for you. Soon the world will be yours for a time. Music starts to play, night will turn to day. Darkness disappears when the one you love is near. You're in man comes. All the world loves the lovers, all the girls in every land of men to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of mankind. There's a place that is waiting for you, a world where the best in life is free, where time is always spring, happiness is king. The dreams you dream come true when the one you love loves you. You're in mankind. All the world loves a lover, all the girls in every land of man to know. Joy of loving is to live in the world of mankind.
Few people in the chat there mentioning the killing fields. If you ever get out to Phnom Penh, go to the Ton Song Torture Museum. They'll put a little Sony Walkman on you in whatever language you choose. Well, English or Khmer, really. I think they've got Spanish. You walk around there and you'll see that the killing fields is like playtime. It's what actually happened under the Khmer Rouge and most communist regimes. Like Pol Pot had children torturing people to death because he believed that they weren't stained by capitalism, that they were pure. He also put the year back to zero to start again. When Pol Pot put the calendar back to zero, in a way, I'm not taking anything away from the evil physical pain you can inflict on someone, but in a way, the narcissism and arrogance of resetting the calendar to year zero. You know what he called himself, Pol Pot? Brother number one. Because in Cambodia we call each other Bong. So today Bong. Da Bong Sok Sabate, and it means brother. And he called himself brother number one. What is it? Bong Di Moi. Bong Di Moi. Dirty. I tell you what, communism's dirty. It's disgusting. Anyway, people, it's been an absolute pleasure. I'll probably see you tomorrow. I'm going to get another video out. I'll get back on the quotes as well. But this novel, I honestly think this novel might save my life. And I mean that because it's going down the pan rapidly. It's incredible. I'm currently at about 34,000 words. Every time I hit another 10,000, I think I'll do another 5,000. Like when I hit 20, I thought 25,000, that's enough for a novel of this type. 30,000 is enough. And 35,000, it will probably end up around 60,000. And I honestly think I'll be able to sell it to a traditional publisher. And fuck knows how I've written that, because I've spent the last 30 years finding a voice that is very much not a commercial novel. But maybe that's what writing's about. You don't find your voice, you find your story's voice. Wow. I'll leave you with that because that's just blown my fucking mind. See you later, Emma.